Hey friends, over 60% of you are listening to me right now on an Apple product. iPhone, iPad, iTunes. I need your help. The truth is, Apple will make this podcast more discoverable to new listeners the more reviews it has. So I'm here asking you to take a moment and leave a review. If you've gained any value from this podcast, the greatest thing you can do for it, besides spreading the word and telling friends, is leaving a review. It's real simple. If you're on your phone, head over to my podcast page within the Apple Podcast app and leave a review. Or if you're on a computer, you can head over to my podcast page within the iTunes app. That's it. That's all I ask. And if you have other podcasts that you love, do them a favor and do the same for them. It'll make their day. Now let's get this podcast started already. Welcome to the Gary Cantrell Podcast. This is a special edition. We do this once in a while here on the podcast where either some things happen, like when IGTV came out, or other sidebar things where I felt really passionate that I need to do a bonus episode, and this is one of those things. So here's what I need from you. If you're listening to this right now, if you're listening to this relatively quickly from when I posted it, you're probably one of my regular listeners, and for that, I appreciate you so much. And I know I come on here every week and I'm like, hey, buy my shirts and leave a review on iTunes and all that stuff that I ask of you. And I appreciate that for those of you that do it. But more importantly, I appreciate those of you that listen every week. It means the world to me. And so when I say bring a friend, when I say show some love and tell friends and share this out, I need this right now more than I ever needed it before. Ever. I want you to listen to the entire podcast before you do it, because I want to make sure that it means something to you. And if it does, put it out there. Help your boy out here, because I think this is something that a lot of us, if not most of us, can identify with. And because it's Instagram related, which is where most of you guys come to me from, I think we're all going to be on the same page here, or at least I think so. So let's do this. Let's talk about a theme that I see so often on Instagram, and that is, I'm starting over. And I'm not here to throw any shade at anybody that does that, but I want to offer up my perspective because, like a lot of you, I'm real. And I'm not some guy here to sell you tea and wraps and supplements and use my code for this or any of that other stuff. I don't do any of that. Once in a while, I tell you to buy my shirt and listen to my podcast, whatever. But I'm not here to deceptively sell you products that I don't think work. Okay? So I have no agenda other than I'm here to help you. Let's just make that perfectly clear. I'm here to help. I see this theme so often of people saying, I'm starting over. And it usually comes from, I had a bad night. I had a bad weekend. I've been off this week. It's been just so bad. Oh my God, I went up a pound. Oh my God, I'm flipping out. The next thing you see a week or two or later is I'm starting over. And to that, I have to say, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. Your life, your weight loss journey, any journey that you're on, it's not a video game. You're not Mario skipping down the bricks, trying to skip the little gap in the road ahead, or jump over the Goombas or the little ducks that are going to hit you. And you don't, when you get hit by one of those things, you don't just get to just die and start over. So I don't think that applies in a weight loss journey. Starting over is not a real thing, because what it really is all about is you're a human, just like I'm a human, just like your best friend's a human, and anybody else you can think of. We're all humans. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to see trouble ahead at some point. It's bound to happen. And much like I talk about the 4 pillars, patience, consistency, hard work, love yourself, and I think that these are the absolute 4 key things that you need to be successful, not just in your weight loss journey, but in any journey you're on in life. Those 4 pillars are what you need to live by. I really believe that. But I got 4 more when you see trouble ahead. Don't just start over because you think it's going to get you a few extra clicks and some Instagram attention. And I know some people, they might think that. Not everybody, but some people do that. Or they think they need to start over to justify explaining why they've had this big gain in weight and why things haven't been going the way that they expected it, because they look on their feed and here's all these people sharing how they lost this and they lost that. And it's one of the reasons why I'm not a gigantic fan of things like the diet bets and all these other challenges, because, you know, while a lot of people can excel at it, and I think that that's great, and I love to see when people are finding success, not just through doing their actual weight loss journey, but also when they do these bets and all this other stuff. I think that's great when you find success. The fact of the matter is, there's going to be a percentage of people that are not going to have that success, and what is a greater problem is what it does to them mentally. It makes them want to give up. It makes them think that they're not worth it, that they're a failure. And we're trying to get away from that, because that behavior is what gets you to the starting over phase. And we don't need to do any of that. So when you think about there's trouble ahead, because I can guarantee you 9 out of 10 of you have seen the troubled roads in front of you. And you think, oh crap, here we go. I'm failing. I got to start over. I'm a failure. I've given up. I've quit. Here's what you got to do. First of all, you need to slow down, because there's so much rushing in fitness and weight loss and all this other stuff. Everybody wants the prize tomorrow, but they don't want to put in the years of work that it takes to get there. And I know friends of mine that are probably listening to this that are in my Instagram that have been at this for years, and they're still working on it, or they feel good about where they're at and they're maintaining it. If you think that because 5 of your favorite Instagram fans lost over 100 pounds in 6 months or whatever that number is, if you think that that's real life and that's going to be for everybody, you're dead wrong. I'm sorry, but you're dead wrong. Not everybody is created equal in the same way, in the sense of the results they're going to see from their body. It's not going to be the same for everybody. So you got to learn to slow down. You have to slow down. And when you see these troubled waters or roads up ahead, you got to reflect. So slow down, first of all, reflect on everything that's going right and wrong. Think about, I'll use an example of mine. When I'm at the theme park, about that roller coaster that now I could fit on that I used to not be able to fit on. Think about the pair of pants that you fit in that you didn't used to fit into. Think about that airplane seat with the seat belt that you used to need the extender for, or maybe you couldn't fit in it at all, and now it just clicks perfectly. Think about all the things that you could do now that you couldn't do before. Right now, I would probably be so far out of breath just doing this little rant right here. And I'm getting a little bit out of breath because I'm just so fired up, but you got to think about all the things that you used to not be able to do. Look at pictures. I'm a big advocate about taking pictures. Even if you don't share them, take them and go look back at the person you were. So slow down, reflect, think about the good things, and think about the things that maybe you think could be better. Here comes step 3, adjust, right? If the things are working, don't try to rush to fix them. If they're working, keep doing at it. Keep finding what you're doing right and triple down on those things. And the things that you think need work, adjust and work on them. And no, this doesn't mean to make knee-jerk reactions if you went up a half of a pound overnight, because that you guys can listen to any of my old podcasts about the scale. Listen to my podcast with my pal Daryl, Your Level Fitness. Listen to any one of his podcasts where he talks about the scale. We don't need to go there here. This is supposed to be a short podcast because I don't need an hour to rant about that. But don't make knee-jerk reactions, but make other adjustments. Figure out things catered to what you're doing wrong that you think are realistic that you can do. Don't set unrealistic goals also. So slow down, reflect, adjust, and more importantly, keep pushing. Don't stop. Do not stop. Ever. You want to take a 2-day break? Take a 2-day break. But this whole starting over, I'm starting over, It's all nonsense. It really is. I promise you, I'm not saying that to be mean or rude. You don't need to start over. Take a damn break. Just take a break. Take a few days. If that means take a week, but you don't need to do a reboot. I'm starting over. This is the revival, the reboot. You don't need to do all that. What you simply need to do is slow down, reflect, adjust, and keep pushing, because this is your life. You're not going to get results overnight. You're going to keep working at this stuff for years. Ignore the other stuff you see scrolling through your feed, because not everybody is created equal, and thus they're not going to get all the same results. Everybody's body is different, and what works for them may not work for you. And don't listen to the person that has promo codes in their bio whose main benefit is to sell you on stuff. Don't buy into all that crap. Find out what works for you and triple down on that. And that's ultimately it. So there's no more needing to start over. You're not Mario in a video game or Sonic or whatever cool video game character you want to use. I'm using Mario because I'm looking at him right now. I have multiple Mario figurines in my office here. You're not a video game character. You don't need to start over because you lost a life in a video game. That's not how this works. This is your life, and we're going to get problems. It's how we work and adjust at these problems that's going to define who we are. You're not a quitter. You were never born to be a quitter. It's just your mind is telling you that there's trouble, and it's how you fix it that's going to define your future. So slow down, reflect, adjust, and keep pushing. Get back to work. It's not over. And by the way, you need somebody to root you on? I'm there. Look to your other friends that are there to root you on, and drop these deadbeat loser friends that don't support you. Forget about those people and surround yourself with the fellow winners who do support you. That way, you've got a whole squad, a hard work squad, you might call it, wink, wink. And you can all win together. Because why? Because hard work always wins. That's it. I'm done.